Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Luminous coming guys with a first-person play of Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin, one of my favorite heroes, and I feel like a lot of players out there has a suboptimal understanding of Phantom Assassin. They say PA say, hey, she is a late game carry, and it makes sense. She has, great passive that scales well into late game coup de grace, or cup of grace, as I would mention it throughout the cast, as well as blur. Kind of really insane late game abilities if you think about it. And I will be playing towards the late game, obviously. That's where one of her strengths lies. But I feel like another big strength about Phantom Assassin is her early game ability. She's actually a great laner in my opinion. She's a great early game to mid game killer as well because of your burst damage output. And I'll be talking about playing her as such. And I'll be talking another big thing that is not about Phantom Assassin is I'll be talking about communication and teamwork and captainship. Captainship may be a little bit too strong because this is just a pub game that we're playing. This is a 5-stack versus 5-stack. And let's actually quickly introduce the home team, if you will. We have Gods playing on Dragonite. He's going to be going solo mid. And you guys know who BTS Gods is. We have Victor Slick, who's playing a long lane TIE Hunter. And Victor Slick is from the fighting game community. He's a very, very cool guy. And if you guys go to EVO this year or any kind of big fighting game tournament, you'll see him there.
30 seconds to showtime.
Say hi to him. Meanwhile, I'm going to be playing on the Phantom Assassin. I random, so I will get random go on PA, which I'll talk about how to spend in a bit. And my friend Link, not the MYM Link, or the Link that you're familiar with from the Dota scene, he is actually a professional League of Legends player. Ooh, the flame comes. He plays for the pro team, Counter Logic Gaming, or CLG. And last but not least, we have T-Talk, or Scott, who's playing a support line, and I will not mention his profession. Alright, so Phantom Assassin, my starting item build, I started with a very standard Tango Self Clarity, a GG Branch, and a Poor Man Shield. If you don't have random go, just don't upgrade your Stout Shield to Poor Man Shield. Poor Man Shield I feel like is a very important part of early game PA play, because allow her as a melee hero to kind of go in and out of the creep wave, not eat too much harassment, or at least tank up a little bit of harassment, and still get okay CS. Also, the way that I personally play Phantom Assassin is a lot of early game tower dive because her abilities allow her to do so. In conjunction with Blur and Blink Strike, as well as a Poor Man Shield / Stout Shield, you could survive even under the tower for a long time. And again, I will be looking to play PA as a very, very early aggressive hero. But before I talk more about PA, I want to talk a little bit about in-game communication. Whenever you're playing 5-stack or 4-stack, or even just stacking with one person, I've noticed this trend. It seems like Valve matches you up against harder opponents. Generally, like, I have a very kind of good gauge of how difficult my games is. And generally, if I stack with friends, even if the friends I stack with are like lower MMR than myself, the games gets harder. And that makes complete sense. You're stacking with friends, you have communication, and you should have more challenging and tougher game because you have communication. And it makes sense. As such, generally when I'm playing with my friends, aside from playing like players that are obviously better than me, like Eternal Envy or AUI 2000 or like other pro players out there, I generally make the calls like, hey, do this and do that and go here and buy that and do this. So I'll be talking about a lot of the in-game calls I made. Obviously, you guys don't hear it right now, and I don't type it out in all chat or anything like that. But there are some calls that are very questionable, and it's causing us to lose particular engagements or lose particular lanes and whatnot. So you can see that actually T-Talk has opted for level 2 Mana Drain in this case. Level 1 Impale, level 2 Mana Drain. I personally actually like Mana Drain quite a bit. Mana Drain is getting buff in every single patch, and I feel like it's a very fine spell. Unfortunately, I think it's a very poor choice in this particular lane because you're not exactly taking away a stun from Klings or taking away a slow. At best, you're taking away Windwalk, and Windwalk has a very, very low mana cost, and level 1 Mana Drain really won't be taking him away from that. Of course, you're definitely not taking him away from Searing Arrow, so it's a decent harass against Klings, but if Klings wants to stand and just fight you back and flame area you back, he can do that. And level 1 Mana Drain is simply not enough to take away from Klings' mana pool. And more importantly, by taking level 1 Mana Drain, you don't have level 1 Hex, and that really will limit our killing potential. That's something that I personally should pay attention to, especially the way that I really like to play PA, aggressive. But I did not pay attention to this. I said, hey, let's go for some kills. And you can see the courier actually coming in right now. The courier, I asked Scott or T-Talks to buy a Sentry Ward. Instead of upgrading the Courier for the mid lane, which BTS Gods definitely need because he's playing a Dragon Knight versus Invoker matchup. Invoker is going for XOR. Let's quickly over peek over here. And Gods is getting somewhat out harassed. And he really wants to bottle crow with this. But instead, he's not getting that privilege because instead of upgrading the Courier, I have asked my support player to buy a Sentry Ward to go for a kill. Normally, I think this is still the correct decision if we have Hex. And he just Mana Drain in front of my face, and it just somehow did not register in my mind that, hey, we actually don't have Hex. And because we don't really have Hex, we're not going to go for the kill. So we're still going to try Impale, Blink Strike, and Sentry gets dropped down. I think if, for example, if he had Hex and he was able to Hex him before he walked away, we might have actually got the kill. It would have been a still very close call. Clinks, I do believe, have boots of speed. Yeah, he does. So maybe we were not going to get the kill. Meanwhile, though, Dragon having a tough time in the mid lane. Died to a little bit of Force Spirit as well as Cold Snap. And there's First Blood giving away. So, yeah, let's talk about Phantom Assassin in terms of her early game capability. This early game is going to be one of the roughest early game possible because we, spoiler alert, loses every single lane. So we lost mid lane already by giving away First Blood. Our TIE Hunter on the bot lane, Vic, is going to give away another kill in just a bit. And in my opinion, we probably just lost top lane already. Because not only did we not get killed, we also pushed the Equilibrium very far into the tower range, and Klings was able to get a ton of EXP. Generally, in the off lane, you are supposed to shut them down, either in EXP, or harass, or just kill them. We have not done any of that. He's hitting level 5 right now, which compared to our TIE Hunter, exact same level, so they're not really doing a good job shutting down our TIE Hunter as well. But he's getting a little bit of CS, and more importantly, here's the biggest fail that I did, is I asked my support to get that Sentry Ward and not upgrade a Courier, and Gods right now still on the mid lane can't really bottle crow as effectively because of the walking Courier. And I do believe they're killing TIE Hunter. Yeah, they just killed TIE Hunter on the bot lane. So we're officially now losing every single lane. The only lane we're quote unquote winning is jungle, and Nature's Prophet is going to be going for the quick Midas build. He's going to get it eventually. But yeah, we're not going to have any kind of early or mid-game support from basically any lane. And I basically take it upon myself to say, hey, I think that PA is a very powerful early game hero. And starting now, I'm already looking to gank other lanes. I will pick up a teleport swirl in just a bit. And you'll see me on the first person perspective. I just checked mid lane right now. Hey, Dragon Knight, do you have level 6? He does. Invoker's pretty low HP. I could actually just teleport in, Stifling Dagger, Blink Strike with a stun. And that's generally enough to get the kill. So that's what I'll be looking to do. Also, I'm checking out TIE Hunter on the bot lane. Are you level 6? Do you have enough mana? And if you do, again, that's a very free lane to TP into and maybe get a kill on Rubik. Yeah, I feel like Phantom Assassin, one of her best ability is her quote-unquote burst damage output, or her nuke, even comparable to her nuke damage output. Because when you have Phase Boot and Cup of Grace, or Coup de Grace, once you get a crit, you're basically actually just landing like a level 4 nuke on somebody. It's actually a ton of damage output, and of course your initiation range is actually very far away with Stifling Dagger and Blink Strike and Phase. So you can actually close in the distance very quickly, or even chase for a kill. And here's a very unfortunate part about that engagement. Dragon Knight died, which, you know, dying always sucks, and that's bad, especially if you're solo mid. But he died with Dragon Form turned on, and that's a very, very long cast, or that's a fairly long cooldown, especially this early in game. I think it's like a 1 minute cooldown, and because of that, basically I won't be able to get a gank on the mid lane. Yeah, I could still probably use a Stifling Dagger as initiation as we get ganked now. So this game is just feeling very, very sad. I'm gonna die here. I'm looking for a targeted Blink Strike. There's nothing there. And it looks like Scott or T-Tox is also gonna die. I guess T-Tox, thankfully, he already has a boost of speed, and considering that he's only gonna be the only support in this game, I feel like getting early boots is very, very necessary to kind of make him a little bit more useful as a ganker and a little bit more survivable. But that's probably one of the saddest time in this game, because Blink Dagger already up on Batrider, is it? No, it's not. He just jumped on it. Blink Dagger will be up very soon on Batrider, and we're looking like an 8-minute blink. Meanwhile, we got 2 death on the mid lane. I got killed once. I just teleported mid trying to set up gank on Invoker, but unfortunately Gods, like previously mentioned, does not have Dragon Form. So you can see I'm Blink Striking. Normally Gods will actually just Dragon Form and get me a stun and Flame Breath, and that would be a kill. Unfortunately, I still teleported mid lane. I have no idea why. Made that poor judging, and as a result, not going to get the kill. These Forge Bears, by the way, are annoying as hell. Gonna come up top lane, salve up, and we do see a couple guys actually pushing our tower. We still have Glyph, so this is actually a very good fight to Glyph and just basically force a fight under tower. Even Prophet TPs in, which going for a deny, not gonna get it. Klings get the last hit, but here comes Lion. Lion, very good position. Hex, Impale, Flame Parade not gonna really help out because that 50% slow is just no joke, and that's a kill. So we put ourselves on the board for the one kill on me, and boy, we really needed that kill. But I actually talk about the skill build here. I opted for no blur, and this is basically a personal decision. I'm not sure whether you guys want to follow that build, but again, like I mentioned multiple times, I like to play my PA very offensive early on. So every single point in terms of offensive capability is important. And for going a blur is a interesting decision. There's a lot of physical damage. Oh my god, there's a blink dagger on Batrider, and life is hard. I think I was fairly annoyed with Gods because he got ganked on the mid lane and he didn't say anything. I'm not sure what that lift is about, because I teleported in a little bit too late. If, for example, if he got ganked and called it out a lot earlier and saying, hey guys, I got ganked, I need help, I could have teleported in a little bit sooner and then maybe gone for a return kill. My mana was pretty low, but I also have 5 charges on the magic wand, and also have phase and cryptic growl. So I probably thought I could have got the kill. He would have still died though, no questions asked. But in any case, also you saw the the Timbersaw player kind of walk in like that. I think, for example, Vic or Tyrant player should have Ravaged right there. Using Ravaged this early for a one-man kill, a little bit suspect, but I feel like it's completely worth it.
Double damage.
So let's go back to her talking about her early game. The big item that I'm going to be farming about is looks like Invoker's going to go for a kill. I know that he just used Cold Snap, and this is level 10 Invoker, so he won't have a lot of cast, and I feel very safe going into him. He's not going to have a Deafening Blast, he's definitely not going to have a high level Meteor, and more importantly, he's not going to have Ghost Walk. So by the fact that he used Cold Snap on my TIE Hunter, I know he has no cast. So I know that it's a very safe go. And yeah, we need every one of these kills. And you saw how long that initiation range was. I was actually behind our TIE Hunter when he got Cold Snap. And Siphoning Dagger and Blink Strike put us up there. So the big item that I'm going to be going for is going to be Ring of Health. And let's talk about Battle Fury in a bit. I farm Battle Fury not for the farming capability. I feel like Phantom Assassin is a fine farmer. If you just want to ultra late game carry, there's better item builds out there. And let's actually talk about communication. We see a very low Timbersaw build there. I asked my Prophet, hey, channel your Wrath right now, and then I'm going to Stifling's Blink in, and everything comes basically at the right time. And the reason we have to layer it directly like that is because if we don't, and Timbersaw has a quicker reaction, he could spam Rolling Death or Timber Chain and just ult me, and I'm basically dead. Especially because she was so right next to the trees. Timbersaw has a ton of pure damage output, and I was sitting at like 400, I think, HP at that point. I eat 2 nukes, I'm dead. So it was very good communication between Link and myself. And I think gods were somewhat annoyed here because I was stealing his CS. But in any case, yeah, back to the Battle Fairy build. I don't farm the Battle Fairy for the farming capability. I feel like if you want to farm, you could just last it or whatever. Uh-oh. Stifling Dagger was already used on a creep. I can't really do anything, but looks like Finger is going to seal the deal. I was actually running from Klings because I thought we couldn't get the kill, which was a complete mistake. If you're finding yourself in an engagement like that, just go in, because what is Klings going to do to you? Maybe it was a little bit afraid of a Batrider looming, because generally Klings don't make solo ganks this deep into your tower unless he has friends. But in that particular instance, I should have actually just blinked in, and maybe, who knows, I would have got a crit. But good thing that our line was there to clean up. So a slight mistake being made by me over there. But yes, and there's another Blink Dagger finish. I think he was going for, yeah, he had Oblivion Staff number 1, and he going for Blink, and then he's going to go for a Quick Orchid. But yes, I'm going for the Battle Fury build simply not because of the farming potential, but because it's a very nice build-up. The Perseverance as well as the Ring of Health. Sorry, the Perseverance as well as the early game build-up is very nice. So I TP in immediately. The Ravage not going to hit too much. but we're gonna get one kill. Dark Sheep a little bit slow on the Flaming Lasso. He blinked right on top of me, and I'm waiting for my spells to cool down. I blink in, I see everybody low, I see the Rubik. Look at how far away and how far back he is in the team fight. I blink in, I'm gonna get myself a kill. And here's the big problem here. As I'm like mad panic clicking, I'm looking for a blink strike, I'm clicking, I'm still clicking for a blink strike. I have no idea where my hero is. I do actually blink away, magic wand up, but the blink of the bat chases me. And both of us actually end up dying. Do you know why I died there? You know why I died there? Because I don't have level 4 blink. So throughout this game I was like, man, we're losing really, really bad. Let's actually get a point of blur and make ourselves a little bit more survivable. And normally I want to say that's generally the correct decision to make, because blur is actually decent survivability early, especially against Force Spirit. They do a freaking ton of right click damage. But if I had a level 4 blink strike there, my cooldown would have got me out of there a lot earlier, because as I was panic clicking and my screen wasn't even my hero, I was waiting for the cooldown of my blink strike, and that never came, or it came way too slowly, and I died as a result. So I was actually feeling pretty sour. Not sure why this guy is coming here. Timbersaw ended up dying a lot of time, and for lack of a better word, we've been feeding on him quite a bit throughout the game to get ourselves back in the game. But yes, going back to Perseverance, the big weakness of this build is it doesn't give you any kind of early game survivability. If you look at pro game, for example, Alliance Loda plays Phantom Assassin, and they play her a lot more team oriented. Goes for phase boot, sometimes even medallion, and definitely go for a drum. It's a very effective early game build. It still retains a ton of your early game kill power. But since this is a pop game, as I just realized that Invoker had a blink dagger, and of course Rubik stole my blink strike and even blinked up to me for a lift. It was tough game. It definitely, like a drum spill, for example, in the previous 2 engagement would definitely help me survive. But as a result, you're going to be having a weaker late game. So it's just a personal decision that you want to be making. And also I fell in that Phantom Assassin because the way that I play her early game ganking oriented, I'm not sure exactly what's going on top lane. I think we're alone about this because Timbersaw should have actually... So Timbersaw, if you saw that engagement, should have took the chain back, because if your chain is out or if your ultimate chakram is out, you can't actually right click. So he was going right next to Link and trying to right click him, but he can't because Timbersaw is out. So I was telling Link to TP out as soon as he saw Timbersaw, because Link should have lost that fight badly if Timbersaw knew exactly what he was doing. Fortunately for Link, I guess, Timbersaw didn't know what he's doing, and that ended up as a trade. But I need to farm my Battle Fairy now. Again, not because Battle Fairy is going to help me farm my next item, because I feel like Battle Fairy, in conjunction with Phase Boot and Cupcake Ra, gives me a lot of early game damage output. And again, that's how I play my PA. Look at how aggressive I played against Rubik earlier. I blinked past 3 or 4 people, and if I had enough Magic Wand charges, or if I had a higher level Blink Strike, I almost would have made it out. So I feel like, personally, I know the limitation as well as the boundary of Phantom Assassin quite well, and a lot of times I play accordingly. I feel like sometimes you gauge, hey, when can I get a kill? When can't I get a kill? I get Orchided, I get Silence up top. I do have that first point of phase, or blur, and was able to get out there as a result. I also see with the Observer Ward, if you look at the mini-map, that blue and teal is coming to gank me, so I just TP out immediately, and they're wasting a little bit of time trying to find me up top, and I'm already trucking it on the bot lane to
Radiant's top towers
start finding a new patches of creeps to gank. So at this point, we can't really do too much in terms of what we could do in the game. I mean, we could probably find some good pickoff, because we have Nature's Prophet, that's a decent nuke. We have Dragon Knight, that's good initiation range, as well as we have burst damage coming from Finger of Death. But like on the bot lane, I just even can't go up the creep wave because I know Invoker is nearby, and he could blink, Force Spirit, Cold Snap, definitely Blast, and I'm basically dead. Mid lane, DK gets initiated on. You can see I'm immediately phasing towards that direction. I don't know how long that team fight is going to last. Unfortunately, team fight doesn't last long enough, and 2 people die already. I say, hey guys, I'm here. Let's go for a kill. Ravage time. There's a Ravage, and I'm going to go for the person I could kill. He's nice Wrath of Nature coming in from the Prophet. Gonna get 1 kill. Look at these Cup of Grace crits. That's 1 kill. Our teammates pick him up, and unfortunately, he has already Force Staff and Blink. We're 15-18 minutes in, and he has everything. So Uh-oh. Think the slip chase a little bit too long. Dark Sheep blinks back in. Do I actually blink in for this? I don't think I do. Yeah, I just drop a Stifling Dagger and I just say, good luck, guys. I'm gonna make it out there. But looks like everybody had made it out as a result. So very, very nicely done on our part. And despite how hard the early game was for odds, it's actually picked up a Shadow Blade. And Shadow Blade is actually a big boon for us because now we have three reliable initiators. We have Nature's Prophet TP in, we have my Stifling Dagger and Blink Strike combo, and more importantly, we have Shadow Blade DK. So we're actually going to start looking to play a lot more aggressively. Dark Sheep on the high ground, not going to see him. Where is actually Dark Sheep? Is he invis right now? I don't see him on the minimap, so I guess he is actually invis. So, actually I'm going to pause real fast and talk about this. Can I pause? Apparently you can't pause. Oh, obviously I have to pause here, but anyways, I'm going to get ganked. Dark Sheep scolding me out. So normally you could use Blur. Or normally Blur would be saying, hey, you're near a target and you're gonna get ganked. And here's why PA is awesome, because of things like that. I just got Flaming Lasso, Orchided, Bat Rider ganked, but because of Blur and a full Magic Wand charge and Phase and Blink, you make it out of there. So yeah, PA's nice, PA cool. That was only a level 1 Blur as well. So in any case, actually this is a good point to talk about my decision to level up Blur. Sometimes as a Phantom Assassin player, you say, do I level up Blur or do I not level up Blur? Because going from 10% or 20% to 35% evasion, it's not even that much. It's like it's less than doubling, which is it's okay. Evasion's one of the more hacks things in the game, but at the same time, oh, Invoker blinks back out trying to gank, or Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet had a Shadow Blade, just picked it up, and I was right there very luckily, so we pick up another freebie kill. And we actually are getting a ton of freebie kills. So we have 2 Shadow Blade on the team, and I'm going to be finishing my battle period very, very soon. So let's talk about the decision to level up Blur or not. So generally I don't level up Blur too much, because you want the stats, you want the HP. But in the same time, if you look at this game, who's actually going to get a MKB against me? There's really nobody that's going to get MKB. Sure, there's a ton of nuke damage, but I felt like in that previous engagement, well, actually, there's Clinks. Clinks can get MKB against me, but that's much later down the road. I feel like despite the fact that there is a ton of nuke damage in this game, that previous gank that I survived against both Clinks as well as Bat Rider, I felt very confident that I was going to be okay. I could play it close to death, and I just want the extra point of Blur against those Force Spirits. And those Force Spirits in conjunction with Cold Snap is so damn annoying that I don't want to mess with it. Meanwhile, we'll also find a solo kill in our own jungle against Clinks, so I feel like, man, we're actually doing okay. Like, keep in mind that this early game started like 7-1 or 7-2, and now we're right back with 14-14. And this is, I want to say, predominantly because we're not playing for the ultra late game. For example, Nature's Prophet, Dragon Knight, and myself, we could have just gone AFK Rising mode, and we probably would have lost the game straight then, because we're going to try to Rice against a Blink Dagger Bat Rider, a Blink Dagger Invoker, and a Clinks. Like, we're going to just get ganked all day long. But instead of just trying to Rice for the late game, Link was playing very much so for the team, always TPing in to help out ganks. God's farming for a really, really good early game item, Shadow Blade. And me, despite not farming for an early game item, I'm farming for more of a mid to late game item. I've been playing actively for the early game. So God's come on the hill, sees Dark Sheep, and look at how far I initiate and follow up here. Blink in, a couple of nukes, and he actually lives because of Force Staff. But we do get a second kill here. Oh no, actually Nature's Prophet came up here and get a kill. Very nicely done here by Link. That League of Legends player, man, doing a ton of work. We back off. We even forced out the buyback. And the reason that we back off immediately is because of, we know that his Flaming Lasso is back up. And the nice thing is that Vig has actually picked up himself a Blink Dagger. I don't know how these guys are actually farming their items, because we're still kind of getting hammered, or we were getting hammered. Oh, looks like Dust is going to come for the kill. And I'm basically going to look for him. Unfortunately, he's getting a little bit fogged. I'm phasing, and he's already windwalk. We didn't have Dust, and we weren't going to get the kill. But now the cool thing now with the battle period finish, I could jungle a lot. And this is the, by the way, I guess it's actually pretty cool to see this. Yeah, this was one of the more awesome moments in the game. He got saved. Cell Sprout TP. And that was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Greatest of all time. Shout out to him for some amazing Sunstrike. And obviously, Pro League of Legend player, Rage buys back. What Battle Fairy is really nice, and for me, the way that I use it is that I go into the jungle a lot. And not only does Battle Fairy help you farm the neutral, by going into jungle and not showing yourself in the lane, you make yourself a lot more of a ganking force. And this is exactly what I mean by a burst damage early game. Because you saw I blink in, and Cherry Q just melted. Like, I thought that we needed Lion to at least Hex or Impel. Not even so. It's just actually so easy if you get those lucky crits. And obviously, I didn't need those lucky crits because Lion's already following up. Lion might have got the kill as a result, but I don't care. As long as we get the kill. And Gods is doing a very smart thing here, saying, hey, the creep equilibrium is pushing, I'm invis up, let's wait for somebody to TP here and go for a kill. Unfortunately, Vig is busy feeding on the mid lane right now, and as a result, nobody's TPing in. So, well, our attempt to actually go for a kill is not realized. They see me, they don't see God, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, let's get that PA. Here comes Bad, and we see Bad, but you know, the Blink cluster F starts to happen right now, and Gods is basically dead. Dark Shape's up on the high ground. I think he already used Firefly. He gets lifted up. I think T-Tox is going to be dead as well because of Napalm and Flame Break. So I have a decision to either run or fight, and I say, hey, he's low, going to go for one kill, one crit, going to go for a second kill, and this is exactly what PA can do. Gem gets dropped on the ground. I'm on the run, but Tornado finds me. I thought I was safe there, but really good Tornado here by greatest of all time. Gonna pick up the kill. But I still think that was a fairly decent engagement. Even though we lost more number, I got 2 kills. And those 2 kills, yeah baby, they're reliable gold. I got a ton of EXP in that engagement as well. Again, that shows you the early game power of PA. Just having a single item. Let's keep in mind that she only has, not drums, just a single Battle Fairy. I'm basically playing Glass Cannon and playing ultra aggressive. And sometimes I die as a result, and looks like we're going to try to set up yet another gank on the mid lane. This Shadow Blade has been so good for us. Blink, Anchor Smash, Gush, kill. So I think this is where I explained to Vic the Slick that you want to Gush first and then Anchor Smash. Because Gush applies a minus armor, and your Anchor Smash does physical damage. So if you do Gush first and then Anchor Smash, you do more damage. So just a little bit tip there. And Scumbag Link on Nature's Prophet picks up Axe Scepter. Which, I always thought that Axe Scepter is somewhat underappreciated on a hero like Nature's Prophet. Sure, you want Scythe of Ice and all of that, that's nice. In this particular game, though, that's actually really smart. Because if you think about it, the Radiant team gank you, and they have a ton of burst damage. This is actually a fairly nice gank. Ty Hunter's like, yep, I don't care. Using a Ravage for a one-man kill, which was very funny at the time, but actually was a pretty bad play, because the Radiant team says, hey, they don't have Ravage, let's actually just teamfight them, which they will do in just a bit. But yeah, let's go back to the Acceptor Nature's Prophet. I feel like it's a fairly smart choice in this particular game state, because the way that they gank us is nothing but burst damage, right? It's Flaming Lasso, it's Orchid, it's Invoker, Nukes and whatnot, and Timbersaw, and as well as Rubik. Like, there has nothing but nuke damage. And that extra HP and armor, really helpful on Nature's Prophet in conjunction with that Shadow Blade. It's also an item that does a ton of damage in teamfights. It's not exactly a bad item at all, and of course it helps you farm, helps you split push. It gets all the bad rep because it's like, oh, AFK Nature's Prophet, just farm all day, do nothing. But the way that Link's been playing, he's farming and he's also been in every single fight, so he's playing rather well. I think that Link and Bots has been really, as well as Vic. Actually, everybody's been playing rather well on the team, and we're actually leading in terms of kills now. So I think in this point in the game, I had a feeling, and this is just like a gut feeling, that like we're doing okay. We're actually gonna win the game. Like, unless like everybody messes up and big throws will happen. Like, I think we're in an upward trend. Like, yeah, the gold graphic, we see they were leading by 7,500 gold, and now we're actually leading in terms of gold. Generally, it's actually good to watch replays, whether you win or lose, especially in a game that goes back and forth like this. Another double gank party on the top lane. They pick him off. I didn't even watch because they know they got the kill. Yeah, it's a very important thing to sometimes download your own replay and watch, and just kind of improve your game sense. Like, are we winning? Are we losing? And in this point of game, I kind of felt that we're actually doing okay. We're actually doing well. And I just checked the go graph right now to make sure like our goal is actually okay. And this is what I mean by since that we don't have Ravage, they just push our tier 2 and there's nothing we can do about it. Because we don't have Ravage. Even though we have a Blink Dagger, can't do too much. Not too sure again what Cherry Q is doing. Cherry Q has been feeding all day, which I guess we appreciate. And maybe his team do not. Not good. Level 16. Time to actually get some stats. I'm still only sitting at 1200 HP. And of course I'm going to be going for BKB next. Obviously there's Flame Lasso. And Flame Lasso is actually going to be a very, very big annoying part against us. But I'm basically going to use my teammate as baits. I'm going to use them as Flame Lasso baits and say, hey, you guys get Lasso, I'm going to blink in, I'm going to pop BKB, and I'm going to go to work. And Glyph is going to get used. Unfortunately, there's going to be no defense. And we lose yet another tower. So, yeah, this is still everybody's game in terms of who could win this. For example, if they find a really good gank on us and they get Roshan, or if we just fuck up really hard, we could still lose this game. But I feel very confident because we have one of the worst early game possible, especially on a lineup that doesn't recover that well, right? Nature's Prophet doesn't do anything until you get her 20-minute, get him 20-minute free farm. DK got wrecked on the mid lane, and I didn't really have enough farm to really go true AFK carry. And I didn't go true AFK carry. I know I'm going to be doing a lot of early game ganks, so I know my farm's not going to be as good as a result. So, despite of everything, we've been doing a lot of really, really good counter ganks. So we're actually doing okay. And I think as the game progresses, we have better late game because we farm better. We're not as much reliant on the gank, and of course you have PA and DK. These are some of the game's kind of best late game carries. So I feel pretty okay. And also you can see that I'm farming very aggressively in the enemy jungle. Now earlier, I think when I was getting ganked, I was talking a little bit about blur mechanic. So if you're within, I think 1600 range of heroes, your hero will get a little bit blurred. And basically, I'm using that a lot as my anti-gank mechanism. Ravage on the mid lane, unfortunately, I'm not sure if you caught it. They double blinked it. They did not steal Ravage, so that's a good thing. So we're waiting everybody to engage or disengage. We didn't lose anybody yet. God's TPing in, trying to get a send off, not gonna find anybody. Tornado gonna get fly as well. So basically we down a Ravage, but nobody died. Double Blink Dagger on the Radiant side was very quick reaction, and Rubik was already on top of getting ready to steal that. So the Radiant fought that team battle really well. They bit out Ravage. We're down a nuke. Unfortunately, they're not able to kill Link on bot. TP back out. But yes, I think I was talking about blur mechanic. Yeah. The way that blur works is that when they're within 1600 range of you, your hero gets blurred up, and basically you see ganks coming even if they're fogged. Now the big exception to the rule is that you don't see it if they are invis. So against Clint, it's not useful, and more importantly against double Blink Dagger, it's not that useful either. So this game using blur as kind of an anti-gank mechanic, maybe not so much. Also, one of the last thing that you have to mention is that even if an enemy enters your blur range, for the first 1.5 seconds, your blur will not trigger. So your blur will have a 1.5 second delay time, if that makes any sense. So against a ganker that has a ton of movement speed, like maybe a Darkseer or a Night Stalker or a Haste Rune, you're gonna be in big trouble. They're gonna Flame Lasso on me. Well, actually, we're gonna turn it right around him. Just sheep, wrong place and wrong time. Did not see the line, only saw Tide, and he knows that Tide does not have Ravage. So on his part, I felt like that was a good jump, but the way that it worked out fine for us. Heard a Sunstrike somewhere, not gonna hit anybody. I have BKB finished, so at this point in the game, I feel like we're doing already quite well, and I think we could easily go into the Roshan pick right now. In fact, we should be going into the Roshan pick right now. So I actually really like the fact that Invoker has been using EMP this game. A lot of Extort Invokers like, oh, Meteor, Sunstrike, Yule Scepter, Deafening Blast, let's go for pew damage output. If you look at our lineup, PA, Dragon Knight, Lion, Tidehunter, you mana burn us once, we're done. So it's actually good to see that Invoker has kind of been using a lot of these spells that normally a Exort Invoker won't use. Like we saw early Force Spirit, like the 1/4 Spirit. A lot of Exort Invoker won't even go that. I'm pretty impressed with this Invoker, the way that he's been playing. I like his build. He went for Blink Dagger, Orchid, and now for Axe Scepter. Yeah, really well played. I have BKB finish, and I do believe BKB is also finish on Klings, and also a Hex is finish on Link. So even though that Klings could have gone for MKB, because the way that the game is going, he can't have go MKB. He needs actually survivability first. So my decision to actually go max blur, still a little bit questionable. Maybe his stats is actually better, just 1 point blur, and then all stats rest of the way may have been ultimately the correct choice, but I wasn't punished for it. And that's what actually one thing I want to talk about. Just because you're not punished for a mistake that you made doesn't mean that you made the right decision, if that makes sense, right? If you keep a 2-8 offsuit when you're playing Texas Hold'em, and you know the flop was like, I don't know, something amazing, and you got a straight flush or whatever off of it, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that you had a good keep. It just means you lucked out. So that's something that I'm recognizing, and I hope that players out there are recognizing as well. Like, just because, I don't know, you got a Dagon on Dragonite and that won you the game, doesn't mean that Dagon on Dragonite is actually a good item choice. Who am I kidding? Dagon on Dragonite, best item in the game, right? So my decision to actually level up Blur may not be the correct one, but fortunately we weren't punished for it, and that's something for the future that I could learn. So the Radiant is checking very aggressively for the Roshan because, well, we're missing off the map, and it looks like Link's doing a little bit of solo ganking against Rubik. Is he gonna get the kill? I don't want to look. Yeah, he's gonna get the kill. He does have Side of Vice as well, Shadow Blade, a ton of deeps, and again, Link. I mean, he is a professional player, although League of Legends and not Dota, but he's still a professional player, so still pretty good. Meanwhile, you can see that we're pinging Roshan, or thinking about doing Roshan. Basically, the rest of the team is showing themselves up top, and they're having this big hectic team fight without our TIE Hunter, which is probably a bad decision, but they don't care. They're still winning, and we're doing a 2-man Roche, and they're still able to escape. No, it looks like Dragonite finally died. Alright, let's actually look at the team fight there. This is probably a little bit more interesting. Now the team fight ended. Did they end? Sentry? Sentry? No Sentry. Okay. So we're doing Roche. I think after you get Aegis on PA, like, the game is pretty much over. Sure, they could probably kill me once. Definitely not killing me twice with BKB activation, level 18 blur. Don't have lifesteal yet, and that's probably the next item I should be looking for if we're playing solo. But because we're playing 5-man stack, I say, hey Vic, you're pretty farm. Why don't you work either on a mech or a Vlads? And I think he's currently working. He's got a mech finish. He's working on Vlads. I don't even know how everybody's farming so well, but we are. But we're farming quite well. I told Lion to actually go for Ghost Scepter first, because against Klings. Remember earlier on when we're getting completely owned on? Yeah, Ghost Scepter was a big part of surviving, and that's why we haven't been giving as many kills to this kind of very, very good ganking lineup. So. And I think the rest of the way is kind of elementary almost. Like, just finish a game, don't get out of position, push with Aegis, don't get picked off. You can see in most of the game, Link and I has been basically operating without the team. Meanwhile, Dragonite, Line, as well as TIE Hunter, basically sticking to the towers. If they see a kill opportunity, the Dragonite will Shadow Blade up and go for a stun, and either I'll be there or Link will be there. But for the most part, we're basically splitting the map and farming very, very efficiently. And Link is actually, if you've been closely watching the way that he's been playing, he's more than a couple of occasions, he has been teleported into the enemy jungle and farmed there. And basically, not only is he stealing farm from the enemy jungle, the enemy generally don't expect you to be farming in the jungle, especially like early on in the game when we're losing pretty badly. I see Cherry Q here, and I say, hey, solo kill. Cherry Q, solo kill. But everybody just made it out here and got a little bit of assist gold, and again, we're just extending our lead, getting more and more kills. And I think I believe I pick up Basher next. I feel that, hey, there's a BKB on Klings, that's a nice person to disable, and Basher is just a nice standard item to transition off of. Again, if I was playing solo Q, I would have got Helm of Dominator here and worked towards a Satanic for survivability. But I know that a Vlad will be coming very soon. Little did I know that Vic the big feed slick is always out of position. He got picked off in the beginning of every team fight, and as a result, I never had a Vlad team fight. Not that I needed it, because PA is OP. So a BKB charged down and drain for nothing. I do believe that was a 10-second BKB. Quickly check. Yeah, that was a 10-second BKB for basically no spell being used on our side. So we're pretty happy. So actually this is a very smart engagement here by them. They're basically using things like the Force Spirit. I want to watch that team fight one time. Scroll back. Alright. They're gonna jump on us. There's no Flaming Lasso up on Bat Rider. I thought he has Flaming Lasso up. I didn't know that he's not Flaming Lasso, but they're basically going back and forth. Victor's like blinked to the middle of the team fight. Unfortunately, he didn't have mana for Ravage. So he did, but I guess he forgot the magic wand or something. The Ravage didn't come. So they basically took my Aegis for free. I thought, in the actual game, I thought that was really good play by Dark Sheep. I was like, man, he didn't use Flaming Lasso yet because he knows I have Aegis. And if they were gonna kill me twice, the only way they were gonna kill me a second time is to use that Flaming Lasso. But now that I know that he actually doesn't have Flaming Lasso, but still it was a very good split from them. Basically what they did was, Bat Rider blinked on me, got the fire buff, or got the fire trail on me, and now the Flaming Lasso's up. At least that Link's gonna get picked up. Link has buyback though, I believe. So this, if we want to take this fight, we can. He buys back right now. Again, really good tornado, really good disengage coming out from the Radiant team. And this is what I mean, like, for example, if we make a couple more mistakes like that where I get picked out, not really even out of position. I had teammates next to me, but unfortunately Tidehunter did not have Ravage mana in that particular instance, and Link gets picked out here and Rage buybacks for no reason. We can actually lose this game. Like, if we lose another buyback and we lose like a Rex, for example, then the game gets a little bit awkward. But I'm still I guess in my opinion, the scariest hero on the map. Now, especially with the bash drop, even Klings can't really man-fight me anymore. Klings never could have man-fight me because his item set is already kind of weak. Speaking of items, let's quickly look over what the enemy teams have. They double Force Staff, double Blink, and both Invoker, and like they're pretty farmed too. They're kind of really farmed. Timbersaw has nothing because he's not using Cold Almost has Bless though. And Klings is now going for MKB, but unfortunately for him, by the time that he's going to finish his MKB, I'm going to have Vlads on the team, which is very nice armor. And more importantly, I'm going to have Abyssal on my side. And yeah, Dark Sheep blinks in. He's got to be very careful where he's going. Also, in that previous engagement, if you guys still remember that, where I got ganked in the enemy in my own jungle by a Bat Rider as well as a Klings with Orchid and all that stuff. And remember, I survived with like 2 HP. That was actually really good play on my part as well as T-Talk's part. When you're playing with a PA, or when you're playing with the PA, it's very important to know what your hero can do. And one of the things that your hero can do is Blink Strike to an ally target. So T-Talk was actually running towards me and allowing me to have a target to blink to. And that's why I survived. And we just saw a little bit more of that in that engagement, where he ran away and Blink Strike towards him. So a lot of times, and this is, for example, very important when you're playing a hero Wisp, something that you tether to, for example, and also when you're playing like Ricky or something like that. Keep in mind that what your hero can do, and take advantage of it. Take advantage of it, not only if you're the PA player, but also when you're an ally of the PA. So right now, doing a big smoke gank, and again, like the Radiant is not giving up. This game is still very much so in contention, and Big Vic, the Slick, the Feed, has used Ravage before dying. Don't do that, guys. I think he was kind of trolling at this point. Like, he knew that was a bad play, he just did it anyway for the lows, because he thought the game was won. And the game is, you know, in a pretty good spot. You saw how far initiated from the minimap. God's just kind of initiated quite early, and I told him to initiate early because I know I could catch up. And the crits were just raining, and that's going to be a kill. We know they're going to be pushing us mid, but we're not exactly here to trade rats with them. We just know that... Oh, don't TP there. I do believe EMP give you high ground vision, I'm not sure. This is, I think, where I made a big throw. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think I decided to go back and fight, which might... Yeah, I'm going to come in man mode here against Dark Sheep. Dark Sheep now goes the other side cliff. There's a big slow. He tosses me back into the slow. I BKB, and I just man the hell up. Hit. I'm going to survive and Blur Magic. I'm telling you, Blur Magic is insane. Where's my line? Line's coming. Tornado, not going to hit because I have BKB. One hit. Magic one up. Blur, Blink Strike. Oh man, and I need dodge Sunstrike right now because that guy for Sunstrike. I'm gonna TP home and hope I don't get Sunstrike, but Blur Magic, guys. So in retrospect, that was a pretty poor fight. There's the Sunstrike a little bit late. Meanwhile, Link is manning the hell up. Got double kill on the bot lane, not sure how, by himself, and he's actually deciding to Rax them. In fact, I think he will actually get the Rax right now. No? They're gonna be killing all the treants. So, in retrospect, probably should not 1v3, especially the fact that, yeah, almost died there, but sometimes you just gotta man up, or a woman up, as PA suggests.
Radiant's mid tower could use a
again,
hand.
I've been pretty lucky this game. I've been getting some big crits. I've been getting some pretty big
Radiant's
lure
mid
procs.
tower's coming apart.
But that's how you play PA, right? Well, that's not how you play PA. Generally, I think the correct way to play PA is to play as if you don't have your chance-based passive. Just play as if you just have Blink Strike and Stifling Dagger. And anything that you get out of your cheap passive is extra. I have not been playing like that. I've been like, some of these fights I've been depending on those crits. And I guess the dice were loaded. And yeah, I've been getting some crits. So again, just because I was not punished for the decisions I made in the game doesn't mean those decisions were correct. Just that's a point that I always have to remind myself. It's like, hey, I wasn't punished. I didn't die. We won the game, you know. Which, by the way, we do end up winning this game. The game is pretty slow. I keep saying that the Radiant team has a chance of comeback, but every time they get a gank off, right? They just get a gank off. They're not actually never really pushing. Meanwhile, Link is doing some scumbag League of Legends moves and gonna get a tower, Shadowball TP, gonna make it out there, and well, Invoker's somewhat out of position. Batrider's gonna come in, but here comes Stifling Dagger from long ass range. Uh-oh, nice, no sentry, no detection from us. He's gonna be fine, and Batrider is gonna survive as well. Oh, sentry a little bit too late, and he's already out of there. So, good jump here by both teams. No harm, no foul there. But I have Abyssal finish very, very soon. Gods has Heaven's Outbreak as well. Nicely picked up here against Klinks, against Invoker. They do have some physical damage output. And looks like, man, Link is mad as for him. He's got a Butterfly, Daedalus. And this is what Acceptor gives you. Like, a lot of people forget that Acceptor is a really good farming item. I'm kind of in a little bit of trouble. I'm asking Vic, please let me blink to you. I blink to him. Good. Yeah. This is where I pick up Abyssal, and it don't matter who I face. I should be able to one hit them. And again, Vic the Beak Feed. He's been working towards his plats for the whole time. By the way, Vic and I are good friends. I call him Feeder all the time. He calls me Feeder all the time. Just good tro. And but he is actually dying quite a bit. Where's my Vlads, Vic? Where's my Vlads? So you can actually see that I went towards the side shop, and I looked at the Sacred Relic, and I decided not to buy it. And the reason being, so we just lost our TIE Hunter. That's all of our team fight. And I don't know if I need buyback. So that's why I was like, hey, this is actually like the first dangerous moment in the game where I say, remember what I say, like, yeah, sure, they're killing us, but not really getting pushes off. Now they've got to push off, and they're actually pushing very deeply. I could actually just blink strike in and start get to work, and that's exactly what I do. Blink one crit, look at the damage I do. Unfortunately, BKB a little bit too slow. Blink dagger, another blink strike. The cool thing about PA is that you're such a good chaser. You mess up once, you come right back. Meanwhile, if you look at Link up top, he's gonna die, but he's the one that forced 2 TP back, and he's the one that allowed me to jump in because both Invoker and Batrider wasn't there. So as a result, my team was able to pick off a lot of people, and this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life, so you guys could watch that. Because Gods is chasing a Timbersaw. Who cares if you kill a Timbersaw? I'm gonna go straight into Roche. Meanwhile, these guys are still chasing a Timbersaw. Picks up the regen even. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, they finally get the kill, but they wasted like 8 hours. Meanwhile, I'm Roshan, and now after I get the Aegis, I'm gonna just get the Abyssal. And that should be it. I think that was pretty much the best decision, or best chance that the Radiant team could have had winning the game. And Link teleported up top, got a lot of distraction, forced a couple of TP back, and Gods and I were able to clean up here. And yeah, this is, I think, the mid push time. Should be mid push time. No, we're ancient farming, ancient stacking. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is that there was an interesting decision to not ancient stack on our side, and it's actually fairly smart. And Vic made a smart decision about this. He's like, should we ancient stack or should we not? And he concluded that we were losing so bad early on. Whatever ancient stack that we did might have easily been taken away by the enemy team. So instead, we did an ancient stack until I finished my battle fairy and was like halfway towards my BKB. And then we start ancient stacking because that's when we started feeling a little bit more comfortable about the game. Feeling like we could take fights even at the Roshan pit or at the ancient stack and all of that. So that's why we began stacking then. So just because you can ancient stack doesn't mean you should always ancient stack. Alright, let's see how good the defense is. Again, EMP, look at that. 1 EMP, mana gone. That's actually like pretty big deal. Yeah, pretty big deal for me. See cherry kill, bash, hit, blink strike. Do I blink him? Yes, I do. Man up. Time to crit. Meanwhile, Link is doing some YOLO move up top. He dies. Flies back again. I'm not too sure what. No, he actually played out Flame Lasso. So the fact that he blamed out Flame Lasso, that's already enough for me because without Flame Lasso, there's nothing actually gonna stop us. Victor Slick, where's your Ravage? No Ravage. And I'm going mad mode. BKB. Sea Chicken is dead. And of course, Link is already in the back of team fight. A couple more crits, a couple more bashes, and that's gonna be it. So yeah, pretty well played here on both sides. Pretty impressed with the way that we played. I made some really bad calls early on, like the chicken not being upgraded, delivering that ward, some ganks not really working out, questionable decision making, questionable skill build, sorry, on Max and Blur, but everything worked out just fine. MVP definitely linked this game. Really hard carry, really hard farm all over the map, doing a ton of work. Gods also had a very good recovery. He got worked on early game, and he basically went utility Dragonite. Shadowblade ganks, got a Heaven's Halberd for the team, and also really good Ravages early on from Vic, and then the Fed mode began happening. And T-Tox, kudos for being the solo support in the entire game, right? Buying every ward, buying every sentry. Still had Gold Scepter, still not really feeding that hard, at least feeding less than Vic. Shout out to Vic. And yeah, everybody really well played. And of course, Scumbag Luminous says, hey, I'm PA. Time to farm for it, guys. Time to farm farm. Am I farm farming? I'm actually not farm farming. Okay, here I am. Man mode. Didn't work. Crits. Oh, no attacks. Got the Aegis.
This might be over for the Radiant.
I'm gonna survive this. No, I get hello. Do I get hello? Oh! Survive! No! Dark Sheep. I can't man fight because he's got Ghost Scepter. Dark Sheep. Good play. By the way, shout out to Dark Sheep. I do believe he's like NA Dota, like a pub star there that plays a lot of games. Pretty high level player. I guess we got the lucky battle on our side this time, and we were able to prevail. So I kind of talked about a lot of stuff this game, most of it not even about PA, but I guess the only thing that I want to really drive home about a couple points is that PA really good early game hero, and you should actually take advantage of that. The skill build I went for this game is Max Stifling Dagger, Max Blink. I had that one point of Blur early, and I regret that decision deeply. I maxed Blur myself, which I'm not sure whether you should max Blur. And then I went for the Battle Fairy, BKB, and 2 Basher. I would have got a Helm after the BKB if Ty Hunter did not get Vlats. And Ty Hunter doesn't actually have Vlats because he kept dying in the beginning of team fight, but hey. So yeah, well played everybody, and thanks for watching, guys. Give me some feedback if you guys enjoyed this type of quote-unquote educational content, and if you guys want to see more of it. And yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching. GG, guys.